Step 1. You want to select primary ship, since upgrading the items costs too many parts, gold, and sugar. Every chip has a different cost, and some chips you can only acquire in events. And in addition, you want to focus in your ship, setup, or loadout. This is because every time you level up an item, it increases the cost and parts needed for it. This also applies to the chips. To level up your ship, it costs gold. This will increase your health. Spend your pearls wisely. I suggest to spend in the item. I suggest to spend it in the ×3 value chest, which is located in the shop as a daily deal, which costs 1000 pearls. Currently I have a special offer for 400 pearls. Look out for these ones. Most people will recommend to save for the epic container that costs 3900 pearls, which is one of the few ways to get a legendary piece, but all the other things are given at random. You also want to save your pearls to speed up the talents. If you don't want to wait for too long to try another one, you want to do this if the amount is less than 15 pearls. But it is better to wait out, yet you can gain experience faster for the 10 first levels. Don't forget, if you don't log in a day, you can claim that day with 25 pearls in the calendar. You don't want to miss a day. If you complete the week, you obtain a premium chest, which is enough to get a replica of your weapon. Lastly, spend the pearls in the shop with a short cooldown to look for pieces or parts you need. My recommendation is less than 10 pearls or 2 hours. This goes without saying, complete the weekly quest, 18 in total, which will give you an epic item, which is one of the rarities below legendary, and complete your daily star crate, which are 15 stars in all. You can scam these items if needed for parts. You want to join a guild fast. This is because at low levels the requirements are minimum, and the rewards are great if you are in one. Higher guilds require you to be way too active, hell a lot in the rivalry. In the rivalry, you complete guild quests, which will give you guild tokens. If you complete all these quests, you obtain 12,000 tokens. With this you can exchange them in the raffle, where you will be looking for perks. This boosts up the efficiency in your items or give you more advantage in the game. If you enter the raffle 12 times, which costs 42,000 pearls, you enter this legendary bonus round for free. You want to look for a flip partner if possible within the same infamy. I recommend is less than 200 infamy above you. The game will not allow you to flip with someone if it is above 800 infamy. The reason I say not above 200 infamy is because if you flip with this person, you might encounter people with better weapons and it will die easy. When leveling up your items, I want you to focus on the blue items. This will increase your survivability and HP. Most people start with the standard shield and then move on to the big shield. This is because the big shield occupies 2 slots. With this in mind, upgrade your rare items. Most people start with the shooter as the primary ship, and you don't have the commodity to change loadouts and it consumes time and a lot of resources. If you want to test weapons, buy common ones and test them in casual match, or if you have zero infamy, they will partner you up with bots. This is at the beginning before you are able to start ranked matches. I can test how much to upgrade your rare items, and it's hard to find epic parts and pieces in the shop, and this will cost a lot of gold or sugar. In one of my previous tutorials, I tell to change your camera controls. The game by default will give you camera relative settings, which will confuse new players. I suggest to leave the checkmarks as mine. And then in your layout, I recommend to max your joystick and aiming, which will give you better control. Party scene events. Currently, there is none, which is located at the most left corner. Spend your coins to be able to gain a legendary perk. If you don't get the perk you want, save it. These perks are unique. If you get a replica of that, remember you can use the unique perk once per item. You can stack 2 of the same. If you really need to upgrade an item, consider you need 6 replicas to max this item. From T4 to 5, you need 2 instead of 1. Follow this rule if you want to translate from one lower rarity to a higher one. 1 level legendary is approximately a 4 tier epic. A 30 level epic is approximately a tier 4 rare, and you can follow along in the picture. Keep in mind the weapons I was showing for each setup is for reference, basically as if you were playing a shooter. Each weapon belongs to its category, depending of its function. In the start setup, they're going to give you most of the time a cannon, a sniper, and a motor. The motor will be a standard motor or a long range motor. I'm focusing these ones, and they should have 5 slots of weapons, and you can combine this with another 2 weapons for the starter setup. Long range setup. You want to position yourself where you take the less damage and have a clear shot. You want to have at least one weapon that deals direct damage in case of a 1v1 occasion. You usually want to keep the enemy apart from your teammates and split the enemy. Control setup, as the name implies, is your goal to maintain the flow of the game at your favor. This is done by either supporting your teammates with fire damage or speed cooldown, guiding an enemy in a favorable direction, maintaining position in the map, and breaking the enemy once. Heavy cooldown setup. You only have one goal, and that is to hit the enemy with precision. This weapon inflicts a lot of damage, yet will leave you vulnerable for a quite of time. Familiarize with these weapons first. You don't want to be misusing them and spending a lot of resources only because they deal a lot of damage. In the other side, we have short cooldown setup, which are great to do damage per second and close combat fights. Mid-range setup gives great versatility in the attack, but mastering the effectiveness is quite tricky. The upper weapons can do damage to enemies behind rocks. Finally, the new weapons have their own use, but quite of low utility in the game, due to their low performance and accuracy. An useful tip is to have maximum 2 weapons of the same kind, and less than 3 in their own category or individual setup. Before I go to playstyle, I want to emphasize that the teamwork in this game is key. No matter your playstyle, you want to accommodate around your team. The following playstyles are ones of the many, but these are based on my experience. Prioritize the survivability of yourself and teammates, and respect the commands to one of each other to a certain level. Nobody has developed a list of commands, but if you are in a fleet, I suggest you develop your own. Here are samples of some commands I developed. The first style is capture. You will attack from the capture, drawing enemies close to you, or prevent them to enter the capture zone. Your main goal is to maintain capture free as long as possible. Next is isolation style, where you focus on enemies that are wandering alone, or pinpoint an enemy with strongest weapons. Along with this, the scatter, which breaks the enemy team apart. One focus in a single player, the other one focus in the enemy team as a whole. The following one is a scatter style, in which you give away the enemy position to your teammate. This is also categorized as a solo going, but in this one you want to attack a specific enemy. A type of solo going is a fixer kill. As the name implies, you want to take the fixer out of the game as quick as possible. Yet this is done properly with a team backup. As easy as it sounds, keeping pressure in the enemy team is hard. If you don't spam, you don't want the enemy to play as they want. You keep constantly attacking and don't let them regroup. But what if you are in that position? You are the one being pressured. Here is when it comes to have a distraction playstyle, where you make the enemy turn around and start attacking you. Funny, it is not. Yet primordial. You just don't want to go kamikaze. Just keep a safe distance and don't die in vain. Tank is an important role as the fixer, since you keep your fixer or damage dealer safe by taking the damage of the enemy team. As a tank, you might push if necessary the enemy lines and take down an annoying enemy. Finally comes down as how you heal. You either prioritize healing your whole group and a specific chip, or you either heal yourself or only your fleet partner.